Highlands Recreation Park District of order. First item on the agenda is the approval of the September 10, 2015 minutes. Are there any changes or corrections to those minutes?
We need to make a correction on the board agenda, can we do that?
Yeah, well, I'm going to get to that in a minute.
Okay, so what am I doing now?
Shh, quiet, chilly.
So I like those minutes.
Okay, is that a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve those September 10th, 2015 meeting minutes.
All right,
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passed unanimously. So yeah, I just wanted to clarify, this is the October meeting, not the September meeting.
Oh, Larry, how come you don't catch it?
And speaking, so was anybody, did you get a flu shot on staff? Larry, was anybody maybe?
Yeah, somebody that sounds like Larry, but not Larry.
I never do a flu shot.
Okay.
I think she was a little scared because she shut the door and came out.
You're not gonna come in the same, all right?
Cindy?
I got one.
I didn't-
Oh, well, should we show them the picture that was going to be on the board?
Oh, they saw it already, but it's no longer there. Except for-
Oh, I think I should go back and check, make sure.
All right. Next item on the agenda is comments from board members.
Do you have any report, Howard?
We all good?
My stuff's on the agenda.
Reports from standing committee, I think is on the agenda. Administrators report, Larry, is there anything you want to highlight or add?
Just in front of each one of your areas there, I placed some additional discussion items. I won't give them in detail, but I just wanted to share them with you. Scott and I had a meeting with Meals on Wheels. Basically, if we want to keep the program here, we need to find a way to provide some staff time to coordinate the daily efforts because our numbers are quite low and they have been, Meals on Wheels has been providing their paid staff because of unfortunately, our volunteers are kind of aging out. So that's one item. And the other is on the, again, the first one item will be actually coming back to you either in November or December. And the next is the hub liability and alcohol insurance policy. We'll be providing an update for that item either in November or December as well. And just to let you know, Mark Bruder is on vacation this week, then he has knee surgery on the 19th. And I will be out of the office from the 28th of October to November 6th. I'll be in Colorado.
We're going on this time.
We are.
Okay. All right, any questions for Larry? All right, Scott, anything you want to? Oh, I Scott. Okay, where you come back to you?
Oh, I'm here, I'll go get that.
Okay.
I also played, I'm sorry, Frank, I gave you the, at the last board meeting, our representative from Miracle Playground, if you remember, she forgot to bring the information for the new play equipment at Freedom Park. So I placed it in front of you, and there are two options at the top. The first one's option 1, second one's option 2. All I need from you as from the board is a thumbs up on which one you prefer, and then we'll relay that information to Miracle so that they can get started on that project as well. The first one is kind of tied into the existing theme, and the second one is very different.
For me, I like the spaceships and the jet interceptors.
I was going to say, you should say with the bee.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
You know, that ladybug is pretty cute, and the bumblebee
But
goes
I-
with the bee in the
I will
sky.
tell you though that ladybug is at the Commons in Roseville, and it has been taken out of commission on several different occasions. So I think we are better off.
Is it the same one?
The ladybug?
Yes, my children love that ladybug. It's a fun little toy, but
It looks fun.
it gets, I don't know if it could stand up to our friends, but.
So is the majority of the board interested in option 1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a thumbs up on option 1.
Yes.
All right, Scott will go ahead and relay that to Miracle. That's it, that's all I have.
Scott, you got anything else?
One quick addition to my report, under the park playground construction update. I actually met with Bridget from Miracle the day after I submitted my report to Larry. We do have a start date for the projects, November 2nd. The equipment should be delivered shortly before that. We'll probably store it at the courtyard. The temporary fencing will go up around both parks on Monday the 2nd, and the demolition will begin. We believe, I'm almost positive that it's going to be Larchmont and then Memorial in that order for the construction. So November 2nd, about 4 weeks away. So it'll be exciting. We'll have a park, 2 new parks in about 6 weeks from now.
Cool. Any questions? All right. Next item is correspondence, and I believe, yes, that's taken under business. Comments and reports from citizens and organizations. Anyone want to talk on anything that's not on the published agenda? Not seeing anybody jumping up. Move to unfinished business. We have none. Move on to new business. Vacant board member seat interviews appointment. Zach and Jason. Thank you. So I'll tell you how this is going to work. We're going to choose one at a time, come in, sit down and talk. We're going to talk to you, ask the other one to sit outside on the bench just so you don't hear the other person's answers. There's no conflict. After we're done talking to both of you, then we're going to chat, ask you to stay out there. If you really want to come in, we can't stop you at that point. I mean, it's a public meeting, but normally we've asked everybody just to stay out. That way we feel that we can talk a little bit more freely. So is there any, who should we go with first, folks?
The rest of them. He was here first.
Jason? Okay. Good. Zach, can you leave a bench outside? All right. Thank you.
So I shut this door then?
No, if it's all the way outside, yeah, you're fine. Thank you. All right. So this, again, is how it's going to work. They can ask you questions. We're going to give you a chance, basically, to tell us why you think you're a good candidate for sitting on this board, and then they may ask you specific questions. We did get your resume and your letter, so is there anything you want to add before we ask questions? No? Okay. All right. Anyone have any questions?
Yes, we will have some questions. I would like you to sit down, just stand up. Yeah, you're more handsome that way. It's true. That looks good. Okay, so the Park and Rec, you've been here a few times, right?
Yes.
Okay, and what's your interest? I mean, you see what we do, you know what we go on, and, I mean, why you're interested? Tell me.
Well, for one, I'm in this community a lot, and I do a lot for the kids and the family in this community. So this would be a next step in me making a bigger impact on the community of North Highlands.
What do you think the board member job is?
Well, the times that I'm here, listening to you guys talk about the budget of North Highlands, making sure the parks are taken care of, the events you guys host here, it has to be voted on and approved before it gets done. I don't think it's easy. I think it's a lot. You have to be really dedicated to want to do this.
So I know you have experience with program and community relations, because that's what you're doing with the rest of the events and stuff like that. You have any experience with budgets, finance, audit?
A tiny bit. It's fairly new. I haven't seen it since I was a supervisor in Atlanta for a company, but very little. Willing to learn. I never say no.
And then, how about one more thing? About, here we have a lot of employees in the district. How many employees do we have total?
Full-time, around 11 or 12.
Okay. And we deal with personnel policy issues here every year, there's somebody on that. Do you have any experience with dealing with personnel or and personal policy issues. You have anybody who works for you?
No.
Okay.
I was a supervisor at FedEx in Atlanta. So I dealt with policies. I was a supervisor at another company. I've been on the board of hiring people, firing people, going over drug tests, and just different policies we have there.
So one thing I remember when I was thinking about Park and Rec, I always came in thinking about children. We deal with adults, adult programs too. How do you feel about that? Any experience dealing with adult programs or adults saying anything that you're doing?
Pretty much with the police department. I've dealt with adults before. I don't have an issue. I'm laid back but firm when I have to be. I can pretty much deal with anybody I talk to or anybody who knows.
I want to follow up with that because I do know what watchdogs are, but I'm sure nobody here probably does. Do you want to expand on your position as being a watchdogs coordinator?
Watchdog coordinator is, it's just for dads of grade students. What I do is I recruit dads to come in and help out with the kids. We'll coordinate different events. They'll come in and help out at recess time. They'll come out help in the parking lot if you can get them. They go to classroom, meet to the kids. It's not an easy thing to get on because I want to make sure the parents, the dads that I have come in are really going to be here for the kids and not here just to try to tell the kids what to do and boss the kids around. So I select them. For me, I make it a hard selection. I don't make it easy because I know what I deal with at the school every day. And the dad that comes in, I want him to be not like me, but pretty much in the same category I'm in right now for dealing with the kids.
What park do you live next to?
Freedom. I'll be there in 1 minute. Out my door. I'm good with my question.
Okay, good. You have any? Good, okay. Thank you, Jason. Can you walk Jason out? We can ask that. Okay.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, thank you.
So before that gets in, I just wanted to be up front. I was the one that suggested Zach to do this. I've known Zach for many years, and I wouldn't have suggested this if I didn't think he was very capable. So I'm not going to ask any questions.
No questions? Okay. Does he like fishing?
Pardon?
Fishing.
Who? I don't know.
I'm like, wow, I'm trying to learn about
Okay.
fishing. I don't fish.
Wherever you want to go, you can stay.
No. I'm not fishing.
You can stay.
I'm not fishing. Go fishing. Go fishing.
So, Zach, the way we did this, we let you, if you want to say, we've got your resume, your letter. They all know that I know who you are. So if you want to say an opening remark or say anything you want, and then there'll be some questions for you.
I just want to thank everyone here for giving me this opportunity. I have a lot of respect for the job that you do and the work and effort you put into this to help the community. So thank you for that. Thank you for letting me be here.
Okay. Mr. Monk, do you want to go again?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
Zach, I'm Michael Monk, and I've lived here since 1975 in the community. And I look at the Sunrise Park and Rec, but I see Cal State University, Sacramento. It takes my eyes right there because it's like there. And very good. 3.5 cumulative, I like that. So tell me this, what do you think that Park and Rec members do, board members do here?
The board members, I think, the number one job is to be a voice for the community. Everyone on the board, with the exception of whoever is appointed, is an elected official. And so the reason that a board member is elected is because the community feels that they are someone who can voice the opinions of the community. And so the number one thing is to listen to the community and try to take their interests and put them into an agenda and make things happen for the community that they need. So I think that there are many things such as establishing a budget, making sure that spending goes according to that budget. But it's not a position that's going to, a board member by his or herself does not dictate what happens. And the board members need to work together in order to accomplish anything.
I have more questions you want to add on to this one? I have more.
I have questions, but they don't
Okay.
want to your questions.
All right, so here in this, on our board, we have different chair people that take care of different committees. So for example, we have personnel and personal policy, we have budget, finance, and audit, program and community relations, and we have faculty acquisitions and development. Now those things, the personnel, the budget, the program, and the facilities, how would you rank them with your familiarity or experience? Have any experience in any of those things? Which one will be your strong suit down to your weakest suit?
I feel like I'm very good with people. So managing personnel is something I feel I'd be strong with. But of course, you have to get to know the person to make those decisions. But when I was a site coordinator for Bridges After School program, I was in charge of making decisions based on spending. So I would have to decide, especially one program we got, it was on Thursdays. The day was a little bit longer since the students got out of class earlier. And so I was in charge of deciding how much to spend and what to purchase in order for, there's a snack that was different than just the regular everyday snack. And so myself and other site coordinators that worked for the program, we would go to Sam's Club where we met a San Juan Unified District employee, and we had to have that budget approved, and it was a monthly thing. So I have experience with that as well.
When you were growing up, did you ever sign up for a park and rec program?
I played a lot of sports growing up, so Little League, AY, so obviously those are more national. But what I realized is that all those sports, they wouldn't be possible if there wasn't a park for them to play at. So while I may not have been directly involved in a park program, it was I was able to use the fields that the park and recreation districts took care of. And then when I was 16 or 17, I worked for the at Rush Park as a lifeguard for another park district there.
What do you think? Okay, I'm good.
You're currently a student at Sac State?
Yes.
Are you knowing that that's a pretty intense place to be in your life? Do you think you have the time to put in here?
Absolutely. I work at Olive Garden in Roseville, and so I work there 4 to 5 days a week. If I was appointed to this position, I would make sure that I worked 1 day less a week on the week that the board meeting is. And I'm also in my final semester at Sac State. I'll be graduating in December, and so I think it'll only be for a few more months that I'll have to balance both of those.
I'm good.
I am good.
I'm going to add that he has a new daughter too. He just became.
Oh, you have a new daughter?
He became a
Yes,
dad.
3 months old.
Congratulations, that's fantastic.
That adds to the case.
Oh, we like that. And in Sac State, my wife works there, and I get my master's in December. I'll be at the same graduation as you, but maybe a different day, but, yeah,
All right.
very
Thanks.
special.
You can go back out. We'll call you back in. All right, folks.
Well, I'm happy to have options.
Yeah.
So I listen for buzzwords that buzz for me. And Jason, I didn't hear the words that I can relate back to. I can't tell you right now which word prompted me to sit up and cock the back of my spine. But Zachary said that if it wasn't for the fields, I wouldn't have a place to play. And I got here because I use the fields. That's how I found my way here, from the field that I use. And that was kind of my relationship with what he was talking about. I mean, he's much younger but I mean, that aspect, that he knows that the fields are part of the community, regardless of what program field's coming from here. And, so that's just something that just maybe lean one way or the other.
And again, when the discussion came out that, we looked and even staff said, start thinking about the community. And I, originally, like, yeah, I don't know anybody. And like I said, I've known Zach for a long time. Matter of fact, he used to work across the street at
Like
Papa
your son.
Murphy's. And I wouldn't have suggested it to staff, to Zach, if I didn't think he would do a good job. Zach, very intelligent guy. Like I said, he got married a year and something ago. They just had a baby. And as soon as I mentioned it to him, it wasn't, because I actually mentioned to one other person. It's like, I don't know. As soon as I mentioned Zach, he says, that sounds so interesting. I'm so interested in that. It's a great too. So.
Well, we're older, and I like some youth. I mean,
And that was the other thing I thought of too. Because I was originally thinking,
We've got Donald and Fred, and we were youth there. We did, and we were young then at that time. We were that kid before.
I don't ever remember being young on this board, and I've been here a long time, so. But I did have hair when I started here.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and yours wasn't as white as it is now, so
Gosh.
we're just having a little fun over here.
Yeah.
Gosh, you're only 4
Yeah, don't go there.
minutes.
So,
We have good candidates. Jason,
You
I
have
would
any
be fine
comment?
if he was the only candidate. We'll have to make a choice. That's where I would sit.
okay.
Okay? That's what I meant. I don't agree with you.
I almost like it go either way.
Okay.
I don't have a strong opinion.
Diane?
I mean, I'm glad we have, opportunity to choose between two very good candidates. Yeah, I think, I do like the youth of Zachary a little bit more. I think maybe some young blood would be good fit on this.
He's still, I mean, the nice thing is that he's willing to learn, he's still in that place. So, and he also has a baby to think about for sport. I mean, it's kind of that, all encompassing. No, I agree.
Anybody like to make a motion?
I would like to make a motion to nominate Zachary Smith for the vacant position on our board.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed unanimously.
What siren shooting was that?
It's Zumba.
Oh, it's Zumba night. You should be over there.
Well, I'll try to get this done quickly.
Maybe hit that next 7 o'clock
Actually, there's a
button.
football game on right now. I'm recording. I'm going to go home and watch. And no, it's not the NFL. It's that college one down in Southern California.
Oh, you're watching the college game tonight.
It's USC.
They're not playing Cal this week, are they?
Cal's playing Utah. It's the highlighted game.
Oh, yeah, Cal's 5-0. Cal's been 5-0 since we were kids. Chuck Muncie was on the heat.
First of all, we want to thank both of you for applying. This is never an easy decision for us, but we're actually happy we did have a decision this time. We've had a couple instances in the past where we either couldn't find anybody or we only had one person. So for the person that didn't get selected, I want to thank you for doing this. This is, it is work to come down and do this. But don't be discouraged. One, if anybody else drops off, you never know with this. There could be another opening, or there is an election next November. So, but we do want to congratulate Zach. You've been appointed to the board. Again, Jason, thank you very much. And we do appreciate your time and everything you do for the community.
I do want to say that. I live here and I see what you do for the community.
Yeah.
And it's very important what you do.
Yeah.
Right there with those kids in this community. And I will come home and teach here if if the position arises, to teach kids in the community and do what that might keep on. That's most important for me. And I think maybe I thought that that's really important for you to be there, you know, and what you do with that. And I think that's a blessing for our community and what you do.
Thank you. Again, for Zach, you have paperwork that Terry's going to explain to you after the meeting, or you can come back later, but you can sit in the meeting and listen and kind of get a feel of what we're doing. We don't have a lot left on the agenda. Stay. All right. Again, thank you both very much. So next thing is item 10B, Sacramento LAFCO nominations for special district representative. I want to nominate Diane Richards.
I don't think so.
Diane, LAFCO, finally.
No.
I thought that was a great idea.
LAFCO's a good.
Nah, I don't think so.
One of these days, I might just do that, but, so,
I'll decline. Thank you, though.
so we can just say, we're not nominating anybody, right?
Correct.
I just
Yes,
wanted to
thank
clarify
you.
that. Okay, next item is item 10C, District Policy Manual Ad Hoc Committee, proposed changes, policy and procedures. Who's handling this one?
Oh, Larry is.
Larry.
Okay, that's fine.
What happened to my ad hoc committee?
I don't know, they just threw you under the bus, I think, but.
I mean, honestly, the conversation was a lot of cleaning up and modernizing
Right, yeah,
language.
kind of
I mean,
understand.
there wasn't any significant.
There is one thing I would like to let you know, that on page 1 of where I have the itemized.
The recommendation.
Yes,
Okay.
and it says on page 1, and then it's page 1, but then I'm referencing page 7, which is a third one down, 1060.6,
Yeah,
where I used in parentheses, policy, it says actually guides. So we're changing the word guides to principles, rules, and guidelines.
okay.
So I want to give you that correction. I just wanted to share with the rest of the board that I did meet with Sarah and Diane, and we went through all the proposed changes, and we had some discussion and some changes that were made after I had presented the information. So I think what you see is an accumulation of all three of us having input on this. And I don't know if you want to, if your interest is to go through each one, or would you just like to?
I mean, I've gone through, I don't, I've already read it, yeah. I didn't have any other questions. Like I said, most of this, I get it, and it's clean up or.
Modernizing to fit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Update.
I do apologize for kind of the crude approach of taking the old pages and marking them through and then referencing them. If that's a problem, let me know, I'll do it differently, but I thought it seemed to work.
Yeah, yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna
it
say,
works for me.
it worked. Yeah. Did you actually run out, or did you make Terry do it?
No, I didn't.
Okay, just check.
I'm just going to put it in the policy.
Okay, that's fine. So, do we have, is there any other questions or discussion? Can I have a motion to accept the changes to the policy manual as presented?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion?
I would like to add, I'm sure that the ad hoc committee is going to be highly disappointed when I share this, but I'm going to recommend that we not meet in November because, or should be at the end of October, because I will be gone, and otherwise I'll be rushing something to you really quick. We have to meet next week, and I don't think we have sufficient time. And I mentioned before when we first started this, we would take a chunk of it over a period of time, and it's probably going to be a year before we get through the entire policy manual. So I don't want you to feel like you're obligated every month to do this, but I think that November, October is a little challenging, and hopefully maybe we can do something earlier in November so we can avoid the Thanksgiving holiday.
All right, great. So we have a motion and a second, and no other further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And Chairman,
Abstention. Oh, yes.
I would like to also mention that Marvin showed up, I think you had soccer going on tonight, didn't you?
Yeah, I just came from a program.
So, he's
Okay.
here if there's any questions that the board has on the recreation report. Marvin's here to answer any questions that you may have.
You said soccer? What are they calling outside well?
I don't know too much about soccer, so I mean, I was more setting up the nets and taking them down.
I do have a suggestion that's random, but, on Facebook, from other, not from North Highlands, but there's been some chatter about the pool closure. And I think if Parks and Rec can kind of make a statement about generally what happened with the pool, because there's some community uproar.
I was wondering when that was gonna happen.
And, well, because I guess it was filled in with dirt. And so the community's having a big problem with the fact that there's no longer a pool in North Highlands anymore. And so that's kind of starting to hit the fan, just in social media. So maybe if we could address that. I don't know. I just feel like I wasn't gonna speak for
Right,
us. And I'm like, but I feel like something needs to be said, so.
Yeah, like I said, I was kind of amazed. We went through the summer and I had not heard.
It wasn't until the pool, because when did the pool get filled in? It was that was when,
That's when they realized it was a done.
I don't know, people started driving by. It's
It takes
between,
a while.
the fact that there's no
Working it out.
traditional junior high anymore in North Highlands, and now there's no pool in North Highlands, the community's starting to get a little.
What we'll do is we'll go ahead and do an update and have that posted on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to.
Truthfully, I was quite surprised this summer that two things. One, I thought even though we had closed the splash pad midsummer last year, I thought we'd hear more, and I could, and Cindy probably hears more than anybody, but people would ask about it, but I think they're understanding more this year than they were last year, because there's so much conversation about the drought. But I actually was waiting to hear complaints, whether they were written phone calls or people walking the door wanting to speak to one of the staff members. And I was actually quite surprised that we did not hear as much. What we tried to do was try to head that off. As people would come in and make calls, we tried to give them references to other places where they could still go get swim lessons or rec swim, that type of thing. But the fact that we don't have a public pool in our community now, I think just as the summer went on and it was so hot and people were looking for that as an outlet, I think they started to realize it doesn't exist.
Can we maybe, what is it? What's the name of the newspaper? North County?
North Sac News.
North Sac News, that's what it is. Can we maybe contact them and see if they'll do like an article?
Sure.
Because I think if people knew the reason,
Right,
they'd be like, oh, okay, I get it.
yeah.
Instead of,
Yeah, actually, my kid's supposed to come over here, and
yeah.
when my daughter found out, he go, wow, it's about time they finally realized it wasn't really safe, so, yeah.
So yes, we definitely can put it on Facebook, and we'll contact the North Sac News and ask if they would be willing to do some sort of story on it, just so we can try to reach out a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And like I said, I was expecting earlier, but
It's more, it was interesting, it's through like the Twin Rivers community and stuff that people are posting, and through like CC, I don't know, people are just really upset the community right now about what's happening. And it's more school district related, but the pool kept
they
coming
coming
out,
up
so.
too. Yeah, okay. All right, great. Okay. You're good, right?
Yep.
Okay. Next item is item 11, payment of bills, board members' opportunity to ask questions, make clarification. So what was the miscellaneous plumbing repairs? That was the only thing that.
6 inch.
6 inch plumbing repairs.
There was a project at Freedom Park that we had a water main that was leaking. It wasn't a gusher, but it was a consistent, pretty significant leak.
Right.
And the gist of it was the pipes were buried in concrete. It was a little bit beyond the scope of our staff.
Right.
Most of the time they can trench, repair, and
Right.
fill in. We had to have the pros come out and do this particular repair.
Okay.
It was done well, and it was done quickly, it was done in one day. And warranted, so we got the work done as quickly as we could.
Yeah, I mean, if you had knocked out concrete, $2,500 isn't that bad.
Yeah, and the problem is the deeper we started digging, we were starting to endanger other pipes that weren't leaking. So we just wanted to stop and bring this over.
Okay. Any other questions? Well, then, if you were this, Eric, do you have anything to say earlier? Okay, just checking. Okay. All right, if there's no other questions, can I have a motion to ratify payment?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
All right. Just, I didn't see that on the last page. Will be building cancellation. Okay. We have a motion, a second, is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention? Okay, next meeting of the North Highlands Recreation Park District Board of Directors will be November 12th, 6:30 PM, right here in the Highlands Rec Center. This meeting is adjourned.